Tú te vas corriendo. Virgo, I'm Lisi, the High Priestess, and this can resonate in your past, present, or future conversations that you're having synchronicity. Press like, subscribe, notification bell. The notification bell, you can get my lives if not, you have to wait 12 hours. Again, this is a brand new channel with my own name. Press like, subscribe, notification bell. Okay. What do we have for you? The first card is La Calavera. Okay. Someone here has an eye patch. Okay. Someone hurt their eye. Okay. Also, I feel like someone's crazy. Okay, these are the bad guys. Okay, the bad hombres, the case of the bad hombre, or the case of the bad bitch. Okay, I see someone gossiping. Someone is gossiping here. Okay, someone only knows half of the truth here because one eye is shut and the other one's open. Okay, also I feel like that's how women aim. Okay. Let me okay. So I see a woman with a gun, right? Look, with a gun right there. Okay. She has her eye closed, like she's looking like this. Look, how can I see it? I could and she has a gun and she's aiming at someone, okay? Like that. One eye open like that. Also, this reminds me of men can never find the ketchup, but they can find whoever's 600 feet away behind the bush. Okay. I feel like someone's the wrong kind of spy. Okay. Or someone spied on the wrong person. Okay. Also, like giving the blind eye to the bad guy. The case of giving the blind eye to the bad guy. Someone is turning a blind eye to you because you're a star. Or you're giving the blind eye to the star. You're letting them get away with it. Okay, you're gonna act like you didn't see it. It also reminds me of what I always say, what they did to get there with the La Escalera, what they did to get to fame. Okay. This person makes you happy, so you let them get away with things. Okay. So the other day I was saying I would like maybe about 3 weeks ago, I was talking to my best friend and I was telling her, like, you know, I said, I love you so much that if you were to burn down a hospital, I would have said, they must have did something to you. That's how much I love her. Like we tend to be like that with our children. Our children, uh, we there's sometimes we'll give the a blind eye to certain things that they do with exceptions, and sometimes we won't. Okay, sometimes we won't. Sometimes it's almost like if you catch both of the siblings fighting at the same time, and you pull them apart and you tell them to go to the room. You're not grounding them, but they need time apart. Okay, so you're not going to whoop them or anything. They already whooped themselves. So it's like you're not going to be mad at your children later on. You're going to still feed them, right? It's something like that. Okay, I'm starving, by the way. Ugh. Okay, then starve then. Okay, are you telling that to your kids? You guys won't be eating dinner tonight. Okay. Oh wow, because they're bad. Okay. Maybe you're punishing your kids without. I hope not. I mean, we shouldn't punish our children from eating, okay? Or maybe if they don't like what you fed them, you're like, well, starve then. Blue maggots copy enemies abilities 999. Hard work paying off. Mm. Dope dealers. Okay. So with the blue magus, the 999 and the wizard's dope dealers right here. Someone is probably a Freemason right here, or someone's in the government institution. I feel like there's a spy right here. Okay, you're starving someone, you're not going to help someone, okay, because they're if you are a Mason, you know who these people are. You're going to wow. Okay, this is very true because I've heard this happen before. You're a they're going to kill themselves off and you guys are not going to do anything about it. Work in secret, give it in food or drink. Influence to rise, fall, s- float in a tile. Okay. It's a matter of time before these people kill themselves off. Also, a scholar. Someone is very skilled right here. Someone thinks like a Freemason. You don't have to be an actual in the actual like military to be a Freemason, okay? Also, I feel like this is all gangs. It's just, the biggest gang here is the color blue. And I'm not talking about Sureños or Crips or anything like that. I'm talking about the blue badge. That's still a gang. That's still an institution and organization. And you know, um, I'm not talking bad about them. It's true, right? Um, it's the same thing with a different type of badge. Malverde reversed. Demons are forever places. You know what else I see? I see a military man that has to think like that. Okay, because your enemies, if you're in the military and you're in war or you're like somewhere out there fighting, crime or whatever it is, you have to think like them. Also, it makes sense why and so many people talk bad about the cops. And I think that it's like to an extent. It should be to an extent. We cannot be making some people pay for things that other people decided to do. I constantly say this because we just carry titles. That's it. We're spirits in different bodies. That's it. Just because you're a cop or a mason does not mean that you're a bad person. And just because you are a Mason doesn't make you a good person. Just because you're in a gang or something like that does not make you a bad person. It's your actions that make you a bad person. But if your actions speak different, then not everybody in gangs is a bad person. Also, this reminds me of like how gangs, like how they existed to just be in war with each other. I was looking at the map the other day, the Los Angeles maps. Okay. Someone could be a Los Angeles cop or something like that right here. Okay. And, being out there in the hood and stuff like that in very dangerous places, you're already on guard because when you're pulling over a felon or something like that, and they have guns, they're willing to not ever go back to jail. You'll be surprised. So it's like caution. But when do people take it too far? If it wasn't for for the cameras, we wouldn't be able to see certain things. Both the gangs and the Masons have fall into abusing their position of power. I will hold everyone accountable. Then cameras were necessary, not just on certain blocks and on the Masons and on the gangs. Because it's like, damn, why does everyone use their position to hurt the innocent? That includes religions, institutions, all of that, anything organized. Okay? Because it's a whole group. Some of them are really good people, and there's some people that are not good people. Good things cops do exist because those bad people will never be caught. It's such, it's just a mess the world is today. But I feel like cameras are necessary so we can keep everybody in place. Okay? So we can have control of the truth as far as the masses, but the truth can be very dangerous. Okay, the full card, the seven of swords. Like I said, what measure your words, even like how I'm speaking right now, I got to measure my words. Okay, the five of wands, because everything that you use can be held against you in the court of law, and the court of the ethereal law, and the court of the actual law, and the court of the gangs laws, outlaws. Okay, and corporations have laws, they have rules and regulations. So do religions, so do institutions, so do certain groups, so does Facebook, so does IG. You violate that, you know, you'll have to start all over. Also, I feel like someone here is being released out of jail. Also, I feel like someone that's being released out of jail has a new concept of how they see the Freemasons and how they see gangs from what they have endured in the action that certain institution, prison. And I hate to say this, but some people actually need prison in order for them to change because they have too much power in the streets and they abuse it. I feel like if we educate our youth what the truth really is, we wouldn't have these problems. If we were to inspire our youth to become more military men, military women, more into becoming a Freemason and in the government, we would have more balance, I guess. But we live in the world full of crime. We need to it just is like that. We need to have both to balance out the ethers, and we need both the good and the bad in every institution, organization, and everything. So, when we do die, we're actually weighed on our actions and not on a group. I don't know why I'm speaking on this. Like, I just want to tell people ain't nobody my enemy. Not the gangs, not the Masons, not people in religion, not none of that, because I ain't part of no group. It's like people don't understand what they sign up for when they're young and dumb and not have done their research, and then now they're affiliated for life, and there's serious consequences for betraying the people that you sell your soul into, because it's kind of like selling your soul. Okay, because you vow yourself into these organizations, institutions, religions, and stuff like that. And when you walk out of these organizations, institutions, gangs, and stuff like that, you're looked as the bad guy. You're looked as a weak person because you want to be free from bondage. It's a fight to get out. Like they say, gangs, there's only one way in, one way out, or two ways out: death or prison. And when you get out, when you're in prison, you still have to follow orders. Yeah. And the same thing goes with the Freemasons. You still have to follow orders. And if you don't set seven of swords, gangs, institution, organizations, you have to do that very quietly, because then it will cause a fight and it can ruin people's reputations. A whole group of it behind someone's actions. They're all the same with the blue maggots, copy enemies, abilities. They all do run the same, and they're all sworn in. Okay, to this, one way out: prison, jail, all of that. See, the Masons, they lift up their hand. And even when spiritual leaders, they lift up their hands, they use prayer, manifestations, they use their hands. Okay, the death card, the devil card, you know, there's, I guess it will be retirement as far as the Masons or corporations and stuff like that. But most of them get so used to living their life like that that it's hard for them to quit. Once you've already started, you lived your life so long like that. It's just like it's hard to stop. It reminds me of like when a soldier finally goes home and they're living amongst civilians. Like it's not the same. You get used to being in chaos and stuff, and when it's calm, it like triggers memories and still living in war. A lot of people live in war in their own heads. Okay, is they choose to live a certain lifestyle that becomes them, becomes a part of their character, and ultimately being, instilled in their DNA helix. Because most people, like, it's passed down in your genes, wanting to be a Freemason, wanting to be a healer, wanting to be a gang member, wanting until you break that generational curse, or you choose to do something different with your life because you have experienced what other people have lived through. I always get the Freemasons with you. I figure because it's the Virgo card and it's the black robe hermit, because they tend to be very they tend to be leaders. Okay, the Virgo card. Okay, yeah. There's change coming, poverty and imprisonment, thief, pathway. Someone here has completely changed their life around. They feel different about, like, for example, if someone got out of prison, they feel different about the cops now. They feel different about gangs. They feel different about religion, spirituality. Um, Things are different now. They're not the same. Also, I feel like someone has realized that it does not matter what organization that you're in. There is still bad and good people in every fucking institution, organization, gang, all of that. Okay. I feel like you should be an example to your peers. Okay. Because that's how change happens. Being Sometimes you have to be the one standing up against all odds. I feel like the underdog feeling right here. Also, someone is sworn into secrecy. Like I said, these institutions, you're sworn into secrecy. You're sworn in. Okay, quantum physics, Scientology. Also, someone could be into science. Even that, being sworn into science, that alone. If you're working with, like, doctors and stuff like that, you're sworn into that too. That you're not going to violate HIPAA laws, or that you won't malpractice on people, that you do everything with great intent, to help others. The occult reversed. Yes, the occult reversed, and notice the things that you can taste. Okay. Things aren't the same anymore. And they're not going to be, because times are changing. With You got to change with time, or you will be left behind. The new wave of Scientology has woken us up to what really is. We have been closed off from the truth so much. The truth is really out here. This reminds me of The Truth Is Really Out There, the X Files. This reminds me of Agent Mulder. Okay. When a lot of the times, when in this series and stuff, that show, he would go against what his boss would tell him to do, even against orders. Because I mean, it's like he's an agent. He's like, yeah, he has to answer to his boss, but he still has to keep his integrity. Okay, following his intuition. He was a high priest. He really was. He was a high priest, and he worked for the X Files. Okay, sworn into secrecy, not tell anybody about anything that's going on. Only the boss knows, and that's it. And then he reports to the people upstairs, but it's very closed off. It's a very elite team. Okay. And then come to find out, even some of the agents that were working under, the FBI or whatever, they were bad people. They were actually not even bad people. They were entities. Entities. They were taken over by hybrids or by aliens, or even possessed to do certain things to hurt someone because they know the truth. It wasn't the other organization, it was one man. So, or one person that would do this, or just a group, a gang, a small group in this institution. It wasn't all of them. So why do we constantly make other people pay for people's mistakes? For example, the rumor that goes around with the Catholic Church that the priests like to touch children. That's not true all the time. It is facts that there has been priests that have done that, but so have in the police force. So it has in the occult, people who do sick shit, sacrificing kids and all that. I'm talking about some real dark stuff. And sometimes we got to talk about it. And sometimes it's better not to. There's a time and place to do that for a reason because people can't handle that truth. See, I've heard a lot, and I made me wonder a lot back in the day. Why don't they tell us about these hideous acts and stuff that really happen? Is because it inspires crazy people to do the same. It's not that they're trying to hide things from us, it's that they're trying to prevent that from reoccurring. Isn't it weird that we have these mass shootings going on and all of a sudden other people are doing it because it inspired people with the same kind of train of thought to do what they do? It's called connectors. Well, it doesn't matter how far from the world they are, they connect with the same mentality. They have the same demon telling them what to do. There's that movie with, I think, Denzel Washington, where there's a certain entity that jumps from body to body to body to body to body. It doesn't matter if it's a cop or like that's how it got away with causing chaos to the world. He will get into people's bodies, and I honestly believe everything has to do with faith. And I say that also with exorcisms and stuff like that. When a person lacks faith, they allow whatever can come into them and possess them, because our body is a demon, and it's actually from birth. You have an angel inside of you, but you have the power to revoke it out of you if you want to, where you are no longer a spirit. Have you ever came across someone that doesn't have a soul? You ever came across someone that doesn't have a soul? And we're not just talking cops. We're not just talking nuns. We're not, let's not talk, take away the fucking titles. Have you ever met someone without a fucking soul? A soul. You felt nothing. They were just dark. You could just feel dark. They no longer had that spirit inside of them. They come for flesh. They say like once a shark or an animal bites into a human, they tend to chase for that taste over and over again. That's what it happens with serial killers. Once they get away with one, they feel like they can get away with two, three, four, five, and then they start to taunt an organization that they can get away with it. Vice versa, whatever. Some people like, and then they tell us to always not to judge a book by its cover, but sometimes you have to. You have to proceed with caution because they're prone to their mistakes. They're prone to go back to their demon. It's what the boundaries that we place amongst ourselves. All right. And listening to our spiritual sense, everyone as an individual. Will you know that you're around people that are not, there's no honor amongst thieves. I would thought I say that, and there's no such thing as a halfway crook. But we are all sinners. We are all sinners. So I guess it does apply. I guess there can be honor amongst thieves. And I guess there is a full crook or one that ain't a crook no more. See the irony of it all, right? And just to think that Jesus took all those whoopings, just so he can give his life to a murderer, a rape, whatever that guy was, so he can live forever. So yeah, I guess we can't judge a book by its cover, but I say we should always proceed with caution. And I feel like we should always carry faith. It does not matter what you believe in, okay? As long as it's for your higher good and it makes you feel alive, not alive by causing hate and hurt and hinder and binding to other people, but sets you free, makes you feel alive, gives you a reason to live, makes you inspired. And the only way you can do that is by standing out, even when the group will not be with you in this journey. Because when Jesus had to endure all those rocks being thrown at him, he had to stand alone. knowing very well he had a whole group standing behind him. But he decided to take the whole fall for the whole group, okay, and for the whole humankind. And you know what's so crazy about being a martyr? Anyone that has ever changed the world has had to die for it. Martin Luther King, Dr. Sebi, you know, Nipsey Hussle, even Tupac, Biggie. A lot of people, like, when they were making a change in this world, were killed because of it. But it's because of their death, including Jesus's, that inspired the world to change. So we're in a time and place right now where death is very common. It's becoming a norm because change is necessary. And every institution, organization, and even things of the occult that is free. There must be a change. There must be a change because people have abused the truth and have manipulated it to lies. And that's why we are at where we're at in this time and place. Now, we cannot judge a book by its cover, but we should proceed with caution. And we should accept people for who they really are. If they are monsters, then that's what they're meant to be. But if you're not a monster, don't allow monsters to make you become a monster. And you know what? Out of monsters, sometimes monsters make good people. They really do. Because good people start to think, I don't want to be like you. I want to be more like me. And I want more people to be like me and less like you. And in order for me to do that, you have to exist so I can show the world what it really is to be a good person in this world. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. Thank you for your time.